You're watching ABC 7 News at 4, starting with First Alert Weather.
And thanks for joining us on this Monday, a very hot one at that indeed. Temperatures warming to the low 90s, which is fairly typical for this time of year, but heat index up near 100, and there are a few isolated storms around. We're going to go through a transitional day now. We're going to see some more inland storms in the afternoon and evening beginning tomorrow, and that will continue on through midweek this week. You can see right now not much going on near the coast with the radar imagery. Some pretty big storms, though, starting to fire up into central portions of Sarasota County. One lone storm just to the west of I-75 in Manatee County, and we have some down near Englewood generating some lightning. You can see that near Tarpon Point, east of Englewood, and also just to the east of South Venice. You can see the general motion is not much, moving off to the east and a little drift to the north right now. And these storms now over Bee Ridge and also stretching up and down toward Clark Road, bringing some rainfall there to Heritage Oaks, also right around, again, looks like that's Fruitville right there. Lake Sarasota to the north, I should say, is Fruitville, and then we have University getting nothing right now, but we will see some storms approaching that area here in a little bit, and some just to the north of State Road 70, west of I-75 in Manatee County. 90, the heat index has gone down a little bit. It's 98 degrees, not bad, and the dew point is fairly typical for this time. We were right at 73. We'll have much more on our forecast for the remainder of this week. Our rain chances going up for the weekend. Details on that coming up in a few minutes. Jacqueline, Scott?
All right, Bob, thank you so much. Now to our top story. A youth football coach in Manatee County has been charged with possession of marijuana with intent to sell.
The sheriff's office says the man identified himself as a coach of the new Manatee Broncos Pee Wee football team before deputies found a loaded handgun, cash, and drugs in his car. ABC 7's Adam Cellini joins us live from the sheriff's office this afternoon with a response from the youth football team. Adam?
Yeah, Scott and Jacqueline, we spoke with a representative from the new Manatee Broncos who told us that they are aware of the situation. Now, the person arrested is 29-year-old Edgar Thalier, who is a former star wide receiver at Manatee High School, who graduated as recently as 2006 before taking over as a youth football coach for this program. We spoke with somebody who's coached with him and kind of vouched for his character, was very surprised by this incident. Edgar, of course, has been charged with possession with intent to sell after deputies found individually wrapped baggies of marijuana in his center console, along with that loaded handgun and thousands of dollars in cash. Now, coming up later tonight, we'll tell you how the new Manatee Broncos have handled this situation with Thalier and the parents in that organization. That's all coming up later tonight at 6 o'clock. For now, live in Manatee County, I'm Adam Cellini. Back to you.
All right, Adam, thank you so much. An Arcadia man is busted after police say his backpack was loaded with meth. 46-year-old Rapard Little is charged with trafficking in methamphetamine and obstruction. Sarasota County Sheriff's deputies say they saw Little riding a bike last week at night and tried to pull him over because he wasn't using a light. Deputies say he dropped the backpack he was carrying and then rode away. 230 grams of meth was found inside. Deputies caught up a short time later and then arrested him. This afternoon, Sarasota City Commissioners are discussing whether to hire an outside investigator to look into repeated complaints about one of the highest-ranking charter officials at City Hall. Pamela Natalini has been the subject of a series of complaints during much of her time as city clerk and auditor. Now, City Commissioners want to find out why. Sarasota Mayor Liz Alpert admits this will cost taxpayers money, but she says it's worth it. Jacqueline joins us now for stunning accusations at the Miss America pageant.
Scott, the reigning Miss America, Cara Mund, now blasting leadership, including new pageant chair Gretchen Carlson for bullying her. Turmoil intensified today as CEO Gretchen Carlson came under new fire for a statement blaming the reigning Miss America for the loss of $75,000 in scholarship money. Mund writes that Chairwoman Gretchen Carlson and CEO Regina Hopper have, quote, systematically silenced me, reduced me, and marginalized me. Carlson took over in January, enacting sweeping changes like eliminating the swimsuit competition.
We are no longer a pageant, we are a competition. We will no longer judge our candidates on their outward physical appearance.
Now, Mund says she was banned from speaking with current contestants and blamed for some sponsors that were dropping out. Carlson denies those allegations, saying, quote, we have supported Cara. It is disappointing that she chose to air her grievance publicly and not privately. In Colorado, prosecutors are expected to file formal charges against the man who allegedly confessed to killing his pregnant wife and 2 young daughters. Now, a close friend says she had her suspicions and was not surprised to learn of his arrest. Nicole Atkinson says she watched Chris Watts pleading for help on TV, but in person he was seemingly indifferent.
The last time I talked to him, he said, "I just want to cry." And I looked at him and said, "Why aren't you?"
Investigators now claim Watts, who used to work at Anadarko Petroleum, drove the bodies of his pregnant wife and 2 daughters to the company property. According to court documents, Shanann Watts was found in a shallow grave, the 2 young girls submerged in oil tanks. Now to the miracle rescue of a woman who spent 10 hours stranded at sea after falling off of a cruise ship. That woman, who wants to be known as Kay, says a relaxing trip to Venice on a Norwegian cruise ship this weekend became an all-out emergency.
I am very lucky to be alive. I fell off the back of the Norwegian Star and I was in the water for 10 hours. So these wonderful guys rescued me.
One passenger taking this photo showing where Kay fell off of the boat right before midnight on Saturday, 60 miles off of Croatia's coast. Norwegian alerted the Coast Guard and then found her swimming Sunday morning. She's said to be doing just fine today. The Pope breaking his silence about the sexual abuse scandal in the Catholic Church. In a statement released by the Vatican, Pope Francis said, quote, "If one member suffers, all suffer together with it." The statement comes after a Pennsylvania grand jury detailed the sexual abuse of more than 1,000 children by hundreds of priests for decades. The Pope also said, quote, "No effort to beg pardon and to seek to repair the harm done will ever be sufficient." Let's send it back to Scott for the latest on school guardian training in Manatee County.
Well, Jacqueline, it's the first day on the job for Manatee County's new school guardians. 18 guardians and 2 lead guardians were in elementary schools today after going through nearly 150 hours of training by the Manatee County Sheriff's Office. Just last week, 20 guardians received certificates for finally completing that training. We spoke to one who retired to Manatee County after serving 24 years with the Pennsylvania State Police.
Personally, you're entrusted with our greatest resource, children, in their future, and the safety and security for their parents and the community. I feel honored and privileged, and I feel it's a challenge to me to rise up and be able to meet this demand, to provide the public and reassure them that, yes, when your child is left off that bus, they're going to be safe and secure, and all the employees in that school are going to be safe and secure.
After the Parkland shooting, the Florida legislature passed the Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School Public Safety Act, requiring every school in the state to have an armed security officer. Another 20 guardians began their training today. Sarasota County Supervisor of Elections is releasing vote-by-mail and early voting turnout numbers. So far, Sarasota County is reporting almost an 11% turnout rate. Over 34,000 votes have been cast. Early voting continues through Saturday. If you have any questions about where you can vote, we have a list of all the early voting locations on our website, mysuncoast.com. Still to come on your News at 4, the Venice City Council discussing a plan of action and how to deal with red tide. We'll hear how the city plans to deal with the issue. Plus, nearly 4 million people on Medicare in Florida should expect a new card coming to their mailbox soon. And we'll show you the video of a storm off Florida's coast that created a large water spout.
Everybody can make something, because I think everyone has a spark of creativity, and the reason that I have to keep making is because I don't think my life would be as fulfilling without it. If you make things yourself, that means you're not cowering in fear. You're out there taking chances. That, I think, is my way of saying I love you to the world. All right, now I want to hear why you make.
Share your own Why I Make story today. Visit whyimake.org.
There's nothing like this trail in Alabama. It just goes from the northern part of the state to the southern part of the state. We see all kind of different terrains, great value, great fun. We've been coming for 18 years. We started off with a group of 8, grew to 12, and grew to 16. And we love it because where else can you get world-class golf courses with world-class accommodations? To be able to play these type of courses in this environment, and the difficulty keeps us coming back over and over and over again.
Another pair of satisfied emotions. Looks to me like elation and maybe some amazement. It's part of the Honda Summer Spectacular event experience. You could say satisfaction comes standard here, Just like the Honda Accord comes standard with a luxurious, roomy interior. All at the Honda Summer Spectacular event.
We see it all the time.
Visit your local Honda dealer and test drive the Honda Accord, 2018's North American Car of the Year.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call. TruStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
And even if you're on a fixed income, prices fit your budget, starting at less than 32 cents a day. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease. And with no medical tests or health questions, you cannot be turned down for any reason. Call 1-800-842-7189. Now, for a free, no-obligation quote, TruStage offers plans to fit your budget. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage. Call 1-800-842-7189 now.
Investigate TV tackles the tough topics.
What happened to my life was awful.
When your health is compromised, we investigate.
They are really drug dealers in white coats.
Corporate greed exposed.
How do you trust them to run this program?
The powerful held accountable with in-depth journalism led by award-winning journalist Lee Zer.
Red tide continues to impact Suncoast waters, and there's no real sign of when this state of emergency will end. But today, the City of Venice held a special meeting to answer questions residents have about exactly what's causing the toxic bloom to stick around for so long. ABC 7's Rebecca Fernandez joins us live now from Venice City Hall with what those answers were and what the city plans to do about it now. Rebecca?
Scott, well, this morning's meeting was jam-packed, and on the way in, residents were using the example of how you could smell the stench in the air, and we're at City Hall, not even on the beach. So the council chambers were overflowing with people who came to express their concerns, but also hear from city leaders and from top officials from Mote Marine Laboratory about what exactly is going on. After a few presentations of what red tide is and all the possibilities of why it's stuck around for so long, the floor was open for questions and discussions of what we can do to help lessen the effects. And tonight at 6, I'll let you hear from some of these concerned residents, plus tell you what the city plans to do while this crisis continues. Live in Venice, Rebecca Fernandez, ABC 7 Your Suncoast News. Back to you guys.
All right, Rebecca, thank you. Crews in both Sarasota and Manatee counties continue to comb the beaches, removing dead fish and other sea life from the shores. As of yesterday, more than 146 tons of red tide debris has been removed from Sarasota County beaches and boat ramps. The county is also monitoring the status of county-maintained canals and will take action as needed. Contractors hired by Manatee County are also cleaning up dead fish from canals. For all of our latest coverage on the red tide outbreak, you can go online to our website, mysuncoast.com/red tide. Let's get to Jacqueline now in the newsroom for a look at what's trending today.
Scott, if you're scared of heights, this video might make you a bit queasy, but if you're okay with it, take a look at this new glass-bottomed suspension bridge that just opened in northeast China. It's almost the length of 4 football fields and 170 yards high. Now, more than 10,000 people showed up to take those stomach-churning steps across thick glass, stretching between 2 cliffs over a canyon. It is quite the sight. Now, China has dozens of these dizzying, transparent walkways. Well, a baby deer in Virginia received a little help from a police officer. The officer responded to a call regarding a fawn who was stuck in the fence. That fawn, named Spot, was able to get the boost that it needed and then quickly ran off. Thankfully, it didn't seem like the deer had any injuries. Now, it's not known how that deer became stuck in the first place, but it was a great job done by that officer. And firefighters in West Hartford, Connecticut had an unusual Saturday night. Fire crews there were called to help out a kitten that was stuck in a storm drain. Take a look at this picture of one of those firefighters emerging from the storm drain with the kitten in his hand. It's unknown how long that kitten was in the storm drain before it was rescued. We'll send it back to Scott in the studio for a look at today's health news. Scott?
Jacqueline, new Medicare cards are coming soon for Florida residents. Those new cards are free. They will be automatically mailed to your home. They should arrive by the end of next month. They will not have your Social Security number on them anymore. These new cards have new features to help detect and avoid identity theft and scams. A new study on contact lenses is proving to be eye-opening. A new study shows that many users dispose of their old lenses by just flushing them down the toilet instead of placing them in trash cans. Well, those lenses later end up contributing to pollution in oceans, lakes, and rivers because the lenses don't break down completely in sewer systems. Americans use about 14 billion contact lenses every year, resulting in an estimated 50,000 pounds winding up in sinks and toilets. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says more than 72,000 Americans died from drug overdoses last year, and now there's a new part of the population in crisis. That's pregnant women. The risk of opioid addiction in pregnant women has quadrupled over the last 15 years. Opioid addiction during pregnancy has been associated with a range of negative health outcomes for both mothers and their babies, including maternal death, preterm birth, stillbirth, and neonatal abstinence syndrome. Time to get a look at our first alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hope we had a good weekend. We were starting the day off pretty quiet for the most part throughout the morning and early afternoon. Not too bad as we race through time here on the time lapse in Lakewood Ranch. Some fair weather cumulus clouds throughout the early afternoon. Now we're starting to see a little belly on these clouds, a little darkness indicating, yes, some storms are around. Yes, here we go again, too. High pressure getting bumped down to our south now in Hedman Park, just over north central Florida, providing us with an east to southeasterly wind component for most of the week last week. Now it's about to change as a cold front approaches. This front, pretty strong front too to see it this far south this time of year. It's going to continue to march to the southeast. It's not going to move through, unfortunately, and cool us down, but it will keep that high pressure suppressed to our south, which brings us that onshore flow. And we'll see that again, looks like through Tuesday, although Tuesday we're not going to see a lot of rainfall near the coast because it's a little dry out there and it's just kind of setting up, so our rain chances aren't all that high. By Wednesday, though, we'll start to see a pretty good chance for at least a few scattered showers along the coast in the morning. Right now, the live sweep of the radar showing nothing going on along the area beaches from Anna Maria southward to Minnesota and Englewood, right on the beach anyway. But you can hear some rumble of thunder there near Englewood and also Minnesota Beach. Occasionally, you can see a thunderstorm popping up here and there near Tarpon Point, South River Road, some rainfall. Venice Gardens right there near the plantation getting some moderate rainfall at times. Not a lot of lightning at this point, but we have had some rainfall there along Rockley Boulevard and stretching up toward Jacaranda. This is to the north now on in through Clark Road, Gator Creek, and also Heritage Oaks, as well as now along Bee Ridge, getting close again to Laurel Oak, but not much rainfall there. And as we travel further off to the north, west of I-75 near Elwood Park, just to the east of Onico, a few showers kind of popping up there here and there. It's not a lot of widespread rainfall, and you'll notice the general track is off to the northeast. It's going to break down that sea breeze, and one or two of these will make their way back toward the coast, I think, later on this evening. They're not moving all that fast, so they could produce some locally heavy rainfall. As far as the moisture content goes in the atmosphere, it's not all that great, but not all that dry either. You can see that dry air spinning across the southern Bahamas into Haiti and the Dominican Republic, as well as well east of the Bahamas right now. So we're in kind of a generic pattern, not a lot of moisture, but not a lot of dry air either. This particular model indicating those showers will eventually break down that sea breeze and head back toward the coast. Not everyone's going to get the storms, but there'll be a few around. That rain chance at about 30% for the remainder of this evening. And some of those storms could produce some locally heavy rainfall. Not everyone's going to get the rain, but there will be a few, I think, around. And it looks like not as many as that model depicted, but we will see some break down that sea breeze. Now, as far as the futurecast goes, not much rain for Tuesday. A little bit better chance for some showers and storms, mainly inland in the afternoon on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. In the tropics, as we start to the peak of hurricane season, this is when the majority of the hurricanes and tropical systems develop. From about August 20th all the way through mid-September, there's nothing showing up. That's pretty unusual. Last year at this time, we had 4 separate areas we were watching. 90 degrees right now. Heat index is at 98, and winds are out of the west at 9. This area of low pressure, which is driving this cold front, is moving through parts of the central U.S. now near Iowa, Missouri, stretching off into Illinois. And the attendant cold front is cooling things down behind it over the northern plain states. Right now, as far as any watches and warnings go, out ahead of that front, severe storms are possible into parts of Arkansas, southeast Missouri, stretching up to southern portions of Illinois. For boaters, winds will be pretty typical, southeast turning to the southwest at 10 knots. It's a day of transition tomorrow. We'll start to get more southwesterly winds beginning, that should say Tuesday, by the way. Forecast is looking like this. We will see a 20% chance for a shower on Tuesday, 40% chance on Wednesday and Thursday. Better chances for showers and storms. I think we'll get back to the afternoon and evening variety by the weekend, and that chance is fairly high at 70% on Saturday, 50% on Sunday. Be sure to download the ABC7 weather app for your hurricane kit. This is an important tool to have. Along with it is your cell phone, and with your app on there, the First Alert weather app, ABC7's WWSB. Keep it with you during the storm season.
Well, Bob, take a look at this video of a water spout. This is a coastal storm off the Panama City area of the Florida Panhandle. You can see a skinny little thing there. That is the spout out in the water to the left of the storm system.
Typically, these spouts don't do a whole lot as far as damage goes, Scott. They can cause problems to small craft and at times can tip them over. These are usually associated with isolated storms. The ones that you see develop associated with a cold front can maintain their organization, move on land, and then be called a tornado. But this one, obviously not a very strong one. They typically dissipate as they make landfall.
Okay. Thousands of people stranded or trapped and many waiting on their rooftops for help in India. Downpours that started August 8th have triggered floods and landslides and caused homes and bridges to collapse across Kerala. It's said to be the worst flooding to hit the southern state of India in nearly a century. At least 391 people have died. More than 800,000 have been displaced since the monsoon season started in May.
India's prime minister is promising to send more troops and helicopters. Volunteers from several Indian provinces are stepping in to help, donating food and medical supplies to send to Kerala.
It is a real crisis there. Thank you, Bob. More to come on your Suncoast News. A fan favorite location from The Simpsons. It's a real life overhaul. We'll take a look at the Quickie Mart that's making the jump from TV to real life.
I'm Joey Panic from Suncoast View. Coming up tomorrow at 9 a.m., we'll talk to a Suncoast inventor and pet lover who has come up with a great way to keep our pets safe. Plus, we'll look at resort-style waterfront living in Suncoast for sale and learning how to make the perfect cheese board. That's coming up tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Sarasota Oxygen and CPAP is the largest locally owned CPAP supply company in the area. Is it time to replace your old equipment? The staff at Sarasota Oxygen and CPAP can show you the most up-to-date CPAP equipment and supplies to meet your sleep apnea needs, including portable travel devices and the SoClean automatic CPAP sanitizer. We serve all of Southwest Florida, giving the highest quality of care with the finest CPAP equipment. Please visit our website, sarasotacpap.com.
I work hard all day, and this is why. But taking care of my money has never been easy. Brinks knows what's valuable to me, making it easy to keep track of my money and pay my bills on time.
Here's to the strong, to the dependable, to the trusted. Your family counts on you. Who can you count on? The Brinks Prepaid MasterCard. With direct deposit, you can get your paycheck or government payments up to 2 days faster.
I don't have time to wait for a paycheck, cash it, and then run around and pay bills. Brinks knows what's valuable to me, time.
Call now or go online to get your Brinks Prepaid MasterCard. There's no cost to order and no credit check. Load money onto your card and then shop online, pay bills, buy groceries.
I get a text alert every time our card is used, so we always know our balance.
And we're protected from unauthorized transactions. Brinks gives us peace of mind.
With Brinks, you can conveniently manage your money online and with the mobile app.
I get cash back on everyday purchases. Brinks knows what's valuable to me, saving money.
Call now or go online to get your Brinks Prepaid MasterCard. There's no credit check and no cost to order. And with a qualifying direct deposit, we'll upgrade you to Brinks Preferred with extra benefits, including a savings account with up to a 5% annual percentage yield. And in this TV-only offer, personalize your Brinks Prepaid MasterCard with your photo for added security. Get paid faster with the Brinks Prepaid MasterCard. Manage your money on the go, anywhere, and get the peace of mind you deserve. Brinks knows what's valuable to you. Call right now to order your Brinks Prepaid MasterCard.
Call 1-800-290-8144.
There's no cost to order. Call now.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Fans of The Simpsons are going to love this. There's now a real-life Quickie Mart store open for business in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. It's a recreation of the convenience store from the iconic animated TV series. Visitors can munch on a heat lamp hot dog, chow down on Lard Lad donuts, and even slurp on real-life squishies. The store is the first full-service Quickie Mart in the world, and it's attached to a Simpsons-themed Aztec theater, which is expected to open later this year. Well, we're just getting started. Jacqueline's back in the newsroom with a look at some of the stories we're working on for you tonight.
Scott, decontamination kits are on their way to Florida fire departments. Coming up tonight at 5, we'll hear how these kits reduce the risk of firefighters face from cancer-causing substances. And at 6, fishing charters. Restaurants and shops are hurting because of the red tide. We'll hear how businesses impacted by red tide could soon be getting some much-needed relief from the state. And tonight at 7, Alan Cohn explains why the governor's race will be the center of conversation on the August ballot. Let's send it back to Bob in the studio for a look at your final forecast.
Thanks, Jacqueline. Some showers and some storms scattered about along the sea breeze front. You can see them exploding. A slight drift off to the east right now. And we are looking at a little bit of building back toward the coast, but not much. These will send off a few boundaries, surface boundaries, outflow boundaries from these storms and try to generate a few isolated cells right near the coast. But for the time being, there's not a lot near the beaches. Some rain that was around Tarpon Point kind of came and now is moving on. Northport, the north end at least, getting some rainfall there. These trying to move off toward Mayaca City, while this one right around Clark Road and I-75 really starting to gain some strength there and some traction. Nothing going on at Anna Maria. One lone shower there just north of Terra, and you can see one lone shower just to the southwest of Wauchula right now. So we'll look for a little bit more activity to start to fire up here through this evening, especially inland due to the boundaries that are kind of moving all across the area in different directions. And so look for scattered showers and storms to pop up. Partly cloudy and warm. Southeast winds turn to the southwest. Again, the sunset will be at 8:03. Look for a few isolated storms near the coast later on this evening. Scott.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you for joining us on ABC 7 News at 4. We hope to see you back at 5 o'clock.